Imagine you start having visions of the future, specifically, of death. You somehow manage to escape it by changing the course of events, but it never really leaves you. You're haunted by the feeling that death is still chasing you, and it starts giving you signs before it strikes. So here's the question, what would you do? Today we're diving into the movie Final Destination, The Bloodline, where we explore what it really takes to survive when death has your name on its list. The movie opens with an ominous view of train tracks because, of course, something tragic is going to happen. Then boom, we're in 1968, a time when safety codes apparently didn't exist. Paul, the golden retriever of boyfriends, surprises Iris with a Skyview restaurant. Ah, romantic, right? Except the whole place is made of glass, floor included. Yes, let's combine heights and clear surfaces perfect for anxiety and lawsuits. Naturally, Iris is thrilled. She poses for a photo with Paul, unaware that this will probably be the last happy picture she ever takes. Then everyone heads inside where, wait for it, there's a live kitchen placed right in the center. Fire, knives, and flammable gas on a glass floor. Genius design. During the celebration, Iris gives Paul a rose. Cute, but then pricks her finger, ouch, and immediately vomit. Because apparently pregnancy tests didn't exist in 1968, but psychic singers did. The singer at the party takes one look and somehow just knows Iris is pregnant. Paging doctor, psychic, why aren't you working at a hospital? Oh, and Iris? She finds herself weirdly drawn to the singer's kid. Then Paul, being the ever so perfect guy, takes her to the rooftop and proposes. Iris says yes and drops the bomb that she's pregnant. Cue romantic music and cue disaster, because no happy moment goes unpunished in horror movies. Enter the singer's son, aka the tiny agent of doom who chucks a coin off the building like he's flipping fate itself. And surprise! The coin doesn't fall, it gets sucked into the AC duct. Meanwhile, inside the party, the floor starts trembling, which nobody finds alarming. Must be the music, said no one smart ever. The coin's spinning like it's auditioning for Inception 2. And just like that, the glass floor collapses. People are falling, screaming, dying. Paul tries to be a hero by grabbing onto a glass shard. Smart. Cuts his hands, obviously, and then well, R.I.P. Paul. He died how he lived, ignoring obvious safety hazards. Iris for once stands in the right place and survives. Finally, she makes a good decision by accident, but the cursed coin isn't done yet. It shoots out of the duct, hits a gas pipe, and kaboom, kitchen inferno mode activated. Because this coin has more plot impact than half the cast. The singer, toasted, Iris, hiding under a piano, which apparently is the strongest structure in the entire building. Honestly, IKEA should start making pianos. Then she runs to the elevator, hoping to escape. But guess what? It's packed. Someone gets crushed underneath, the lift fails, and everyone inside dies. Elevators in horror movies equals death traps. Always take the stairs. Always. Back upstairs, the restaurant is now tilted like the Titanic. People are clinging, sliding, praying, and the only thing keeping half the restaurant from collapsing, that same piano. All hail the magic piano. Structural support, fireproof shelter, and emotional trauma spun. But wait, the coin. Remember him? Still the villain. Lands on the piano, knocks it out of place, and boom, down goes the last section of the restaurant. Give that coin a Best Supporting Actor nomination. The scene shows Iris noticing the son of the singer, yes, the same little coin-flinging chaos gremlin, and she rushes to save him. She catches him just in time. Dramatic music swelling, and for a second, it looks like they might make it. Ah yes, finally a heroic moment. Wait for it. But of course, the ground below them decides now is the time to crack open, because gravity and trauma go hand in hand in this movie. Is this a restaurant or a sinkhole simulator? In a last-ditch effort, Iris wedges her ring between two iron rods to hold herself up. Innovative. Desperate. Stupid. But then her hand gets wounded and the ring slips off. That's what you get for using sentimental jewelry as industrial equipment. And just like that, Iris and the boy fall to their doom. Add physics to the list of things this movie doesn't respect. Cut to a loud scream. A girl jolts up in her classroom. Surprise! This entire glass-shattering tragedy was a hallucination. Plot twist, none of this trauma was real, but you still feel like you need therapy. Meet Stephanie, the real main character, who's casually having vivid death visions during lectures. Her classmates stare. Her professor is confused. Honestly, can you blame them? She just screamed like someone unplugged her soul. When asked, Stephanie calmly explains that she gets these scary hallucinations all the time, even at night. Girl, that's not a red flag. It's a whole emergency broadcast system. Her roommate, being the voice of reason in this entire plot, suggests, maybe talk to your family? Finally, someone using logic. So Stephanie visits her dad, normal. She visits her sweet, supportive brother, adorable. And then they both go to see their uncle, because nothing says family healing like confronting unresolved generational trauma. They bond with their cousins. Everyone's happy until Stephanie ruins the party by bringing up her grandmother, Iris. Yes, that Iris from the hallucinations. Girl, read the room. Maybe don't bring up the haunted grandma during dinner. Her uncle, instantly furious. He declares that Iris is dead to them. Why? Because she went mad, ran off to an island, and never came back. Translation, family secrets are rotting under the surface like expired leftovers. Her uncle continues the emotional gut punch by blaming Iris for his sister's, Stefani's mom's, mental illness, saying she also abandoned the family. Therapy. All of these people need therapy, preferably together, in a group discount package. He storms off, but Stefani's aunt swoops in like a real one, handing her the forbidden treasures, old letters from Iris, her island address, and a few of her belongings. Among these relics, a photo, the same photo of Paul and Iris in front of the Skyview restaurant. And Stefani's face basically says, "Excuse me? What the supernatural hell?" This was the exact image from her visions, which means her hallucinations might not be hallucinations after all. Dun dun dun. Naturally, the only reasonable thing to do now is to pack up and travel to the creepy deserted island, because visiting the place your cursed visions came from always ends well. There, she finds the house. It's broken, abandoned, and giving full horror movie energy. Honestly, the house should be condemned and possibly exorcised. Stephanie, not deterred by the total lack of safety or logic, introduces herself via the house's security camera. Yes, let the possibly deranged grandma know you've arrived. Great idea. To her surprise, Iris responds and invites her in. Sweetie, no. You turn around, you run. This is not tea and cookies time. Iris was thrilled to see Stefani at her doorstep. Because nothing brightens your day like the grandchild of your estranged daughter suddenly showing up with psychic trauma. She asks about Stefani's mother, and Stefani, ever blunt, drops the emotional anvil. Her mom left them during childhood. Just sprinkle a little abandonment trauma on top of the supernatural horror, why not? But then Stephanie cuts to the real reason she came. She tells Iris about the nightmare she keeps seeing. Iris, Paul, the Skyview restaurant, the collapsing floor, the chaos, the death. Every night, casual nightmare small talk. And here, Iris drops a truth bomb. She used to have those visions too. Plot twist, Grandma was the original Final Destination survivor. She reveals that those very visions allowed her to save people from a massive tragedy on that day. She had seen it all in advance, right down to the cursed coin. So she took the coin from the kid, good call, honestly, and warned everyone over the mic that the floor was going to collapse. Finally, someone using visions for something other than just freaking out. Because of that warning, many people escaped before the glass floor gave way. Imagine being at a restaurant and hearing, "Attention diners, the floor is about to die." Instant Yelp review, 0 stars, too much death. Stephanie shocked. Wait, you saved everyone? Iris sipping her tea of doom. Yes, I cheated death, and apparently death doesn't take that kind of insult lightly. But Iris explains that death doesn't just take the L and move on. Nope. It gets petty. It started hunting the survivors one by one. And not just them, death came for their kids too. Even people who were born because their parents survived being hunted. Paul got taken by cancer. The rest picked off in tragic, bizarre ways. So basically, the movie decided to copy Final Destination and crank the trauma to 11. Iris realized she was next, so she did what any guilt-ridden, vision-seeing survivor would do. She vanished to a creepy island cabin to hide. She tells Stephanie that as long as she stays alive, her descendants, including Stephanie and her brother, are protected, which frankly feels like an emotionally manipulative immortality plan. Stephanie understandably overwhelmed as, "Then why am I getting the visions now, Iris?" "Because death is behind us again." Iris hands over a book filled with names of the survivors, their death stories, and methods for cheating death. Ah yes, How to Outsmart Death for Dummies. Available nowhere because it's cursed. Stephanie, not having any of this death has a plan nonsense, leaves the book behind. Stefani, sweetie, have you seen your nightmares? Take the book. She tells Iris she'll visit again and walks out. But Iris, determined to stop the cycle, steps out of her cabin for the first time in years. Nothing like death knocking to get you off your decades-long hermit schedule. She runs after Stephanie and insists she take the book. Death will come for you now, she says, and this book is your only hope. Because apparently Death is a bureaucrat who can be delayed with proper paperwork. Still doubtful, Stephanie hesitates. And then Iris drops the mic. Now watch me die. Oh, we're doing this. Right now. Casual Tuesday. Here we saw that gas leaked from one place. One small disruption led to another. A tiny spark, a chain reaction, and suddenly, something sharp came flying straight into Iris's back, stabbing her brutally. She died instantly. Well, that escalated fast. Death really said, "You rang?" Now, for the first time, Stefani actually began to believe everything Iris had said. You'd think prophetic death visions, exploding restaurants, and ghostly grandmas would have convinced her sooner, but okay. 2 days later, Iris's funeral was held. Stefani's estranged mother also showed up, probably because death sends really strong RSVP vibes. Stefani, welcome to the wake, Mom. You're next. Realizing this, Stefani understood if death was following its sick schedule, the next name on the list was her mother's. She turned to the book Iris had left her, desperate for answers. Finally opening the death manual. Good timing. Inside the book, Iris had hidden that coin, the cursed one, the one that started it all. At this point, maybe just melt the coin or launch it into space. Stefani, in full panic mode, called her family to warn them. Send a Q57 missed calls because no horror family has ever answered a phone on time. Cut to the family. They're partying like death hasn't penciled them in for the evening. Family, clinking glasses over Beyonce remixes. Then the chaos begins. A glass shatters. A shard falls into the ice bucket. Everyone's grabbing ice. One shard ends up in Stefani's uncle's drink. He sets the glass down. Because naturally, no one checks their ice for weaponized shards at a family party. Meanwhile, objects start subtly shifting, like the house is getting ready for a Rube Goldberg murder event. If Final Destination had a Pinterest board, it'd look like this. The glass drops and the shard stabs her uncle in the foot. He screams, falls. That impact triggers a vibration, knocking a tool off a shelf which hits a lawnmower button, and then boom, the lawnmower starts, goes rogue, and crushes his face. The party turns into a panic, everyone's screaming. Stephanie, already traumatized and now in I told you so mode. Stephanie, yeah, funny how death is literally killing us. Weird, huh? She tries to explain to her family. After Iris stopped the tower tragedy, death started finishing what it began, killing the survivors, their kids, and anyone linked to them. Now only 2 families were left, Stephanie's and some other kids. She says Iris is gone. Her son is gone. My uncle just died. That means next is his daughter, then my mom, then me. Honestly, this sounds like the worst pyramid scheme ever. But of course no one believes her. Her cousins, furious, accuse her of mocking their father's death. Because grief makes people super reasonable and open-minded. Only one person believes her, her mom. Finally, a team up. Too bad Stefani is still mad at her. Great timing. Meanwhile, we check in on the eldest cousin at his piercing shop. He finishes work, gets a portrait of his dad tattooed on his arm, but he's still wearing a metal nose pin. Then the fan turns on. A magnetic chain above gets caught on the pin. Suddenly, he's swinging mid-air like a carnival ride from hell. There's kerosene below. His lighter falls. The shop catches fire. He manages to break free from the chain only to fall straight into the flames. Death, I'll let you go, but just to barbecue you personally. Stefani hears about the fire. Sun's rising. Death is working overtime, so she jumps in the car. But as she drives, he suddenly appears in front of her car. Stefani, can I please just have a normal Tuesday? It was surprising that he didn't get any injury, except to his arm. Surprising? This man just face-planted into Final Destination fanfiction and walked away with a scratch. Plot armor? Activated. They're casually chatting like death isn't stalking them when suddenly a high-speed truck flies by and shakes him. But guess what? No harm done. He turns to Stefani, all smug like, see, I told you nothing will happen to me. Sir, death just misses you like it's buffering. Don't gloat too soon. Stefani, to her credit, is scanning everything on the road like she's suddenly turned into Sherlock Holmes of fatal accidents. A garbage truck passes by. Stephanie, stay away from that. Him. walks up and hugs it. Nothing happens. Again, he doubles down. You're overthinking it. That's the exact moment Death updates its kill schedule. Then his sister decides to go for a walk. She trips over a ball, a literal ball. A Final Destination classic, cue ominous violin screech. She stumbles right into a garbage bin, and the truck drivers, clearly trained by Looney Tunes, just toss the whole bin in without looking. HR at Waste Management is gonna have questions. The trio watches in horror. Stephanie, fully in hero mode, climbs on top of the truck, but the crushing machine is already on. The girl's body gets pulverized. Stefani is left holding just her hand. She wanted to lend a hand, not receive one. Everyone is devastated. Her brother looks at Stefani. You were right, yet weirdly, Stefani still doubts herself. Girl, you literally just wrestled with a garbage truck and lost a cousin. What more proof do you need? Then comes an exposition, dropping truth bombs like, BTW, that boy? Not actually your uncle's real son. Plot twist unlocked. He's the mailman's kid. That's why he didn't die. But his sister, who was blood related, Stephanie, stunned silence. At this point, even Death's like, damn, I didn't know that. Everyone's on Team Stephanie now, because it always takes a body count of 3 before people start believing the girl with prophetic trauma visions. The little brother of the girl who died steps up. So, it's my turn? Stephanie, gulp him. I don't want to die. Will you help me? Stephanie, I want to save you, but I don't know what's next. I'm winging this with vibes and visions. Her brother pipes up, but you always figure it out. Just observe. Thanks, Captain Optimism. Then Stephanie remembers something Iris said about a boy who also survived the tower incident. He now works at a hospital. He cheated Death once. Maybe he knows how to cheat again. They all go to find him. When they call out JD, he looks surprised. Only Iris used to call him that. They ask, how do you know her? JD, I was there. I was the singer's son. Stephanie, cue flashback montage and dramatic realization. Stephanie Exie has stopped responding. Please restart with a gasp. This man also tells that Iris had come to meet him many years ago because she wanted to trick Death for her husband Paul. But after a lot of effort, these people could not save his life. Translation, Paul got the VIP death package, no refunds. Stephanie asks, are there any such people who had escaped this death? That man responds, yes, there are 2 people who cheated Death, but not like this. Death first won, Death first hunted them, and they died. But after a while, they were revived by the efforts of doctors or someone else. And after that, Death did not chase them. So to escape Death, you have to die first. Great, who wrote this user manual, Satan? Stefani, in full desperation mode. Please, you can help us in this work. Help us. But he says, no. I have also cheated Death once after embracing it, but I also have to die because I am suffering from cancer and everyone has to die one day. We can't run away from death. That is our final destination. Before that, we should enjoy our remaining moments. Okay, Buddha, we were asking for survival tips, not a TED Talk. Everyone's morale in the gutter. Then suddenly someone in the group says, hey, let's feed my allergic to peanuts brother some peanuts. Because nothing says family love like calculated anaphylaxis. The plan, induce a near-death allergic reaction, then heroically revive him. You know, casual near-death experiments, totally safe. He rushes to a vending machine, but of course the vending machine doesn't work. Plot twist, vending machines are on Death's payroll. He tries to pry it open, the screw comes loose, because apparently he brought a crowbar to this suicide mission. Then they go to a room to hide. He tells his brother, wait here, I'll bring the anti-allergy shot. Wait here while I prepare your allergic assassination. Sounds safe. As he slams the door, a few buttons are pressed, including the MRI machine. Why is there a self-destruct door button next to an MRI? Who designed this hospital, Willy Wonka? Sometime later, he returns with an injector and a wheelchair. He hands over the chocolate peanut. Before they can go full Mythbusters, the MRI machine activates. Its powerful magnetic field begins pulling every metallic object in the room. Stefani's elder cousin, who, reminder, is pierced like a human magnet, gets yanked along with the wheelchair. And he is drawn inside strangely. He couldn't even save himself. After breaking, the wheelchair was also pulled in by the magnetic force, and he immediately died there. Well, that escalated quickly to talk about being magnetized to death. His younger brother, who had eaten the chocolate peanut, was also suffering a lot. To save himself, he injected the medicine he had set aside, which healed him. Nice save. Allergic reaction? Check. Emergency injection? Double check. But then, the spring shot out from the vending machine they had opened manually. It bounced off walls and finally hit the boy who had eaten the chocolate to trick Death and made himself anti-allergic. And in this way, he also died. It means Death did not let him go. Because of their deaths, everyone is grieving. Stephanie tells her mom, "Now it's your turn. I think you should stay in the house where your mom Iris used to live, because she also lived there for a long time." Stephanie's mother agrees, and then we see that a coin slips out of the book Stephanie was holding. An old lady picks it up and puts it in her purse. Plot device alert, the evil coin is back. Never trust loose change. Stephanie quickly goes to her grandmother's house and asks her mom to go inside. Her mom is very worried about her 2 children. Stephanie reassures her, "Mom, as long as you are alive, nothing can happen to us." Optimism level expert. Let's hope it holds. She and her brother send their mom to her grandmother's house, but it's shown there's already a gas leak and the place is sparkling with electricity. Oh yeah, because a ticking time bomb always makes a great safe house. Although Stefani's mom smells the gas, she ignores it and goes inside. Because of the gas leak and sparks, a big explosion occurs. Stefani's car falls into the water and she starts struggling underwater. Because why stop at one disaster when you can have 2? Inside, Stephanie's mom is burned in the explosion. Stephanie's brother, standing outside, falls down and notices a tower about to fall on him. Before it falls, his mom saves him by coming there, but the tower falls on her and she dies. Mom, ultimate hero, but RIP. Now the boy realizes it's Stephanie's turn to die. So the Grim Reaper's hit list continues. Stefani, better step up your survival game. To save Stefani, he quickly jumps into the water, and when he saves her and brings her outside, he sees that Stefani has already died. He gives her CPR, which saves her life again. She comes back to life, and these people are happy because Stephanie's lifeless body came back to life. Oh great, the classic back from the dead trope cue triumphant music. She had accepted death, now they can fool death. These two were happy that both of them were saved, but full of sorrow because of their mother's death and others. Ah yes, happiness mixed with a generous dose of grief, realistic. We see a scene after a while where their life had become normal. Today was the graduation ceremony of Charlie, Stefani's younger brother. Everyone was getting ready. Stefani places a rose in his pocket and a thorn pricks her finger, causing it to bleed just like the blood that came out of Iris's hand at the start. Ominous symbolism much? Thorny foreshadowing for the win. Stephanie understands that the game of death is going to start again, because of course death loves a sequel. The scene shifts to the coin that Iris saved falling that day. The old lady who had it now opens her wallet and the coin slips out, spinning onto the train tracks shown at the start. The coin stops in the middle of the railway junction, damaging the tracks. Because why not mess with train tracks? That's always a good idea. Back to Stefani and her brother. Their neighbor doctor, a friend of her brother, tells Stefani, "You are very lucky you are alive today." Stefani says, "Yes, I am so lucky I came back to life after death." The doctor says, "No. If a person does not breathe for 5 minutes, he is considered dead. You started breathing after only 2 minutes. This is unconsciousness, not death." Ah, science ruins the supernatural vibe again. CPR skills, ghost stories. Stephanie and her brother are shocked. Stephanie sees death in everything, but their death was not like that. The train derails and moves toward their houses. To save themselves, they run away. The train finally stops, but they don't survive because pieces of wood flew from behind the train and stabbed their bodies. Wooden shrapnel? That's a brutal way to go. Death really gets creative. Finally, both of them die. Well, spoiler alert, death always wins. The movie ends with the lesson that we cannot escape death, and one day everyone has to die. So viewers, hope you find today's video interesting. So if you are new to this channel, hit the bell icon and subscribe our channel. Thanks for watching.